Hey y'all, in less than 48 hours, we are all going to be able to get our hands on Gotham Knights. Finally. So let's go down a couple key points that I want to get into as far as preload times and dates, early reviews, no spoilers, but we'll just see what their overall opinion was about the game and kind of their likes and dislikes about it. And let's do some expectations, I guess, also. So, this game has released early, physical copy-wise for some people. I guess pre-orders at GameStop, they're letting them go earlier than planned. I mean, originally this game was supposed to come out around the 15th, so I don't know if that was still the date they had for the release or some mix-up happened, and that's the time they decided to hand them out. But people were out here with their hands already on it. I mean, some people already said they beat the game, some people midway through the game, some people are 10 hours in the game. But the overall response to it is I mean, it doesn't sound too bad. It sounds like they're having a good time. It sounds like the story's good. I mean, combat sounds like they're having a good time with it. Story seems enjoyable. The 60 and 30 FPS differential that everyone's been talking about, that's probably been the biggest news revolving around this game as of lately, is the rates of the FPS for consoles and PC. PC is going to be running at 60, console is going to be running at 30. I did a side-by-side comparison of the two, and honestly, you really couldn't see much difference. You gotta take in consideration that some of these consoles may not be able to handle all the excessive capabilities that this game's trying to produce, such as the ray tracing, the 4K, and the 60 frames per second, which can't really knock these guys for. I mean, you could run it just fine on PC. The specs are a little high, but doesn't mean you should dumbify your game, dim it down, make it a little less more capable than you know what you're capable of making it as, just because you gotta suit these consoles and these graphic standards. Like, I feel these consoles need to maintain and keep updating and keep producing system manufacturers that are gonna make these games compatible, not outdating itself in the sense that you can't run 60 FPS because the hardware on your brand new PS5 or Xbox Series is already getting outdated, because these gaming engines that they're coming out with are, you know, they're getting there, so need something to match that output. So I'm really not knocking Gotham Knights for that. I mean, I'd rather have a good game than a game that's just been dulled down to a point where, you know, it's not even sharp anymore. That's one thing I have seen about this game, is as far as like combat choreographing and like moves and grabs, and like it's clean. I'm telling you, like these movesets, like the way they're bouncing off the floor, you know, you can see the limbs absorbing and pushing themselves up. Like you can see triangles being wrapped around their necks, you know, from the leg, and it's perfectly locked, and like it's some legitimate stuff. Red Hood's moveset reminds me of a lot of collegiate wrestling. I mean, he's doing single legs across the floor right here. He's picking people up, slamming them. I mean, he's doing lots of grabs. So it reminds me a lot of Greco wrestling and all that stuff. As far as everything else, it seems like it's going to be a decent game, honestly. I don't think it's going to be as bad as the Avengers was. The Avengers wasn't too bad. I mean, I put my time into that game. I did everything up until the end game. The only thing that does have me concerned is that these two end games do sound very, very similar. Whereas Avengers had a system called Hives, and you just basically progressed floor to floor, and you took on NPCs, and AI was pretty whacking. Avengers, I ain't gonna lie, like felt very repetitive, and like the character AI design was just a bunch of robots. You really had no I don't know, it just felt very lifeless. But as in Gotham Knights, people are saying the enemy variety is very, very decent, and that they're having a enjoyable time seeing all that stuff, which it does sound enjoyable to myself. You get tired of beating up the same people, you learn their mechanics, and you already know how to defeat them, so each combat just becomes mundane and preordained in the sense that you already know what to do and how to deal with the situation. What I would like to see in this end game is, I guess they're going to be doing, I think it's 30 floors or something like that, 30 waves. But I would like to see an end game where basically it's like maybe weekly you can run these 30 floors, and at the end of each set of floors you got a boss, and prior to that boss, all the floors revolve around that boss's criteria. So like, say if it's Mr. Freeze, you got a bunch of lackeys with freeze guns, and you know they're basically Mr. Freeze theme. You got Clayface, and he's the end boss. You got all these villains and enemies that are also Clayface themed, so on, so on. And you could add different mechanics to each of these AI that make them different encounters. So each week, you know, you got a different boss. You got to go through 30 floors. You got to engage these different variants of AI. And I don't know, it changes it up. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I am worrying about this game, is the end game. Apparently, after you do a new game plus, higher difficulty unlocks, and the level cap also progresses. So that's a good sign right there, that once you beat the game, you're not going to be completely over with it. You basically start a new game plus, and a new level cap is produced for you, and you go through that, and you get a new high level. I don't know how many times that's going to be applied. I'm assuming just once. And I think the level cap's 30 the first time, then the second playthrough, you get a level cap of 40. Mind you, all this is going to be kind of required for once you get the end game on November 29th. It's called Heroic Assaults, so you're probably going to need some really decent gear for all that stuff. So get to grinding now. As far as expectations went, it seems like they're being perceived better than I expected them to be. That's a good sign. Kind of felt like everything they were showing in this game was kind of underwhelming, in the sense that they were doing that intentionally just to upsell the game a bit. And honestly, it seems like it's working, because the people that are getting their hands on this before everyone else, they seem to be enjoying it. And that's the key plan. I'm glad it's a new iteration in the Batman series, in a sense that it's developed by new people, and it's revolving around new characters. I mean, you were able to play as these characters in the Arkham Knight game, yeah, mind you that, but I don't know, it just seems like the abilities and the trees and all that, no, makes them more enjoyable to play, makes them more of a you still get that sidekick feel, I ain't gonna lie. Like, you know, you see these guys, you know, you got it instilled and ingrained in your mind that, hey, you know, these are sub characters, in the sense that, you know, if I'm in this city of Gotham and I'm playing a game as the Gotham character, you know, I want to be Batman. But honestly, it seems like it's shaping up to be alright. I mean, I don't mind playing all these characters. It seems like it's gonna be something intriguing and enjoyable. Changes the aspects of the game, in the sense that, you know, all combat's not the same, so it's going to be feeling different. You may go into the game wanting to play as Red Hood, and you come out liking Robin or Nightwing or Batgirl, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's still so much we gotta figure out for ourselves. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna try to play the shit out this game. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna see how long it takes. It seems like it takes around about 25 hours for people to complete this game, but from the reviewer that said that, I believe he didn't have all the side content completed. So the main story might be 25 hours. That's not including the side content and side missions and all that stuff. He did say he still had a good chunk of it left, so that's a little bit of hope right there. The guy that was 10 hours into it, he said that there was only 3 villains. That was kind of one thing I was on the fray about, is the fact that, you know, is there only going to be 3 villains? Because that's what happened in Marvel Avengers. You only had Doomsday, you had Taskmaster, and you had MODOK, and you had a couple sub bosses and all that, which were they were boss fights, but they weren't really pertaining to any of the Marvel series. Again, they were just robots. But this game looks like it's staying away from that route. Seems like the villains correlate with the AI pretty decently. Gotham City, his perspective on that, he said it was beautiful. He said it was a nice city, and it felt very endearing to the sense of the series. So that's something else to look forward to. As far as customizations go, here's my issue with it is I was going in believing that you had all these different suits and all these suits were customizable. Apparently that is not the case. You have some in-game suits that you can unlock, but all the extra suits, like, those are just all transmogs. You can't edit them, you can't change the color, you can't change the design. Only the initial base suit that you get is the suit that you're able to change and control. So I don't know how deep that's gonna go. I was hoping that I was gonna be able to change the color variations of all these different suits, maybe interchange the parts, but they're really against the issue of clipping in this game, which I'm fine with that. Like, if you look at this game, you hardly see any body parts going through another body part. You don't see the cape going through the legs. You don't see anything like that. And that's how much detail that they put into this game, and I respect that, for the fact that you know, it's little things like that that do make a difference. And it's a two-way sword, honestly, because you can't interchange these parts now, for the fact that it's gonna clip these suits, and it's gonna make it a little cheesy. Like, you know, sometimes you put a cape on or a hood on and your hair is going through the hood. Like, you know, I could live with that a little bit, you know what I'm saying? As long as it looks good and it feels good and it's something that's unique and I created in a sense. But you're not gonna be able to do that. It's just gonna be transmog suits. Like, for example, the suit that's Robin's wearing, if you want to change the masks and put on another mask, I don't think you can. If you want to change the gloves, put on other gloves, you can't. That would have added so much variety and suit concepts. It would have been crazy. Everyone would have had their own unique looking version of each hero, and I would have enjoyed that, and I would have loved that. But how extensive is the customization factor gonna go for the suits? I mean, you got 3 sections. You got the cowl, you got the mask, and you got the boots and pants. So I don't know how many different sets you're gonna get for that, but and the color coordinations, they give you presets. So like basically it's like 4 colors to a set, and you can't interchange the colors or anything like that. It's just whatever the colors are in that set, that's what's going to be applied to your suit. So that kind of nullifies the customability and unique creation factor in itself. But as long as the combat's good, it looks good, plays good, feels good, story's good, I mean, everything else is extra. So 2 more days, we're about to see what happens. Hopefully it lives up to the expectation of myself. Hopefully it exceeds the expectations of some others. That would be nice to see. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and find out, guys. So all you Gotham Knighters, stay tuned, and let's see what happened to Batman. Maybe he's sleeping or something. But Excelsior.